Welcome back to Collectability, and hello from Los Angeles. We are on the road this summer, and I want to keep the content rolling for you. So here we are in West Hollywood filming. It's my first Hollywood debut, so to say, at least in a podcast studio. And today we are going to announce this incredible sale that we're doing, an auction with our friends at Loupe This. Loupe This and Collectability are having their first collaboration, and that is one of the main reasons I'm here in Los Angeles now, and we're going to dig into that in detail shortly. Before we get started, I want to thank you for listening, and I have a personal favor to ask. Please push that subscriber button on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And this will ensure the future of this channel and help you discover the world of collectability. So if you love all Patek Philippe content, push that button now and also comment below after you watch this video. In particular, I'd like to know which pieces are your favorite in this Loupe This Collectability auction. About this auction, the idea was born earlier this year, and some collaborations are just bound to happen. And Loupe This is one of the fastest growing online auction platforms in the world, and Collectability is increasingly recognized as the primary source of all information Patek Philippe online. Together, Loupe This and Collectability share in the same philosophy that the more information that you have at your fingertips, the more informed that you can be about your collecting, and the more enjoyable your collecting will be. So as longtime friends with both Justin Grunberg and Eric Koo, we've always wanted to do a project together, and their company, Loupe This, was the right partnership. So Loupe This and Collectability, having this auction is a dream come true, as we're combining our efforts to offer you a curated collection of Patek Philippe timepieces, all at no reserve. More on that later. The idea of this auction was born in the early days of Loupe This, and we're pleased to finally give it a go and offer 20 Collectability-vetted Patek Philippe watches that represent the wide range of Patek Philippe's breadth of production from the 19th century all the way through today. So please enjoy this short presentation. Register to bid in the Loupe This sale. Please feel free to reach out to either me or members of my team or the Loupe This team if you have any questions. In honor of this little auction, I think we have to have a giveaway. People are still going crazy for our Ellipse caps. So let's offer 3 lucky random people who register to bid. They comment below, and you tag us on Instagram, and you may receive one of our Collectability caps. So please do those 3 things, and I'll enter you into a drawing to win one of our caps. So let's get going to look at some of the 20 pieces in this auction. The auction started earlier this week, and each day 4 Patek Philippe will be offered. So by Friday, all 20 pieces will be up, which is the day this video will be launched. And based on early interest, there will be some real bargains in the sale, but you never know. With auction, the unpredictable is possible. So if you haven't bid before, please reach out to the Loupe This team to set up. It's fun, it's exciting, it's mildly addictive, and who knows, you might walk away with an amazing Patek Philippe from Collectability and Loupe This. So let's look at some of the highlights from the sale. The first is a watch almost all of our listeners know well, and that is the reference 5070 in white gold. Here we have a full set example, and it is one of the most important chronographs in the modern Patek Philippe lineage. With such a timeless design, the reference remains a collector favorite since it was discontinued from regular production in 2010. At 42 millimeters, it has an important presence on the wrist. It's easy to read. And less than 1,000 examples were made in white gold, and this beautifully preserved example is ready to wear. So start bidding at no reserve. Who knows what this piece will bring? We all know the market value, but anything is possible at auction. Another more modern piece that we have in this Loupe This Collectability offering is the reference 5935A. This is an amazing piece if you love to travel. It's the perfect watch for you to wear when you're on the road this summer. Combining the signature world time complication with a chronograph makes this the perfect watch to wear as you travel around the world. While you're spending your time crossing time zones, you'll be mesmerized by the beauty of this dial and the comfortably light weight of the steel case on your wrist. With an automatic movement with 2 complications you could actually use, this is a watch for the individual that wants to own one of the best travel watches ever made. The next piece that we are offering in this auction is a reference 5059J. Full set. There's nothing more distinguishing than a Patek Philippe officer's case with a hinged case back to reveal the beauty of the movement within. The reference 5059 was launched way back in 1998 and stayed in production until 2006. Now considered a vintage watch, this may be one of the best value buys of our era. And this is historically, we must consider that this is the first Patek Philippe perpetual calendar made with sweep seconds since the reference 2497 or the 2438 in the 1950s. Less than 1,400 examples of the 5059 were made in 18K yellow gold, white gold, and rose gold, as well as platinum. And during its entire 8-year run, less than 280 examples were made in yellow gold. Interestingly, the rarest of all 5059 case metals, a little factoid that most people don't know. So get your bidding ready, because I don't think this will bring a world record price, so it might represent incredible value for you. Who knows? Next is another modern classic, the reference 5205 in white with the blue dial, the coveted blue dial, full set. The reference 5205 was first released in 2010 and brilliantly combines the Patek Philippe annual calendar with an instantaneous date display with 3 apertures. The elegant layout of this dial combines vintage nods as well as a futuristic display that looks amazing on the wrist, and it's incredibly easy to read the date. As one of the most desirable of all annual calendars, this example is beautifully preserved with its full set of original accompaniments. Next, the reference 5146 in white gold, full set. The reference 5146 was first launched in 2005, and this reference has aged really well. It replaced Patek Philippe's first annual calendar, the reference 5035. Made 2 millimeters larger than the 5035, the 5146 clocks in at 39 millimeters, and it had a number of design modifications as Patek Philippe evolved the annual calendar line. First, with the dial, the Roman numerals were left in the past, and the Arabic 9123 was added with applied baton numerals. The date remained at 6 o'clock, and this novel up-down indicator was added just below 12. This finely preserved and full kit example is ready to wear and to put on your wrist. Good luck bidding. Next, the reference 5098 in platinum. This is a personal favorite. The reference 5098 Platinum was launched in 2007 and designed to look almost identical to a Patek Philippe wristwatch you could see in the Patek Philippe Museum in Geneva. It was made back in 1917. The hand-engraved engine-turned dial is the star of this show, and it pays homage to an earlier period when the dial style was more commonly found. The dial of this watch is often described as being a masterpiece of the art of dial making. Take a look with a loupe, and this is something that you will not forget. Only Patek Philippe could produce such a dial in the early 21st century, using the tools and know-how from the late 19th and early 20th century. Complete with box and papers, this example from 2008 is ready to wear and makes for an exceptional modern addition to one's Patek Philippe collection with a vintage twist. Next, we have a reference 5127G, full set, launched in 2005 and produced until 2015. The reference 5127 with its crown guard and self-winding caliber 324 SC, representing center seconds, immediately became one of the most attractive additions to the Calatrava collection. With its 37 millimeter case size and sapphire case back, this reference 5127G from 2010 is perfect for the collector who wants a classic self-winding Calatrava with rounded bezel and white metal, a combination that's interestingly no longer available in the Patek Philippe line today. Here we have a reference 5153 in white gold. This white gold reference 5153 with black dial was launched in 2011 with great fanfare. In fact, the watch release was billed as a, quote, matter of honor, end quote, in respect to the officer case tradition. The press release eloquently stated the following, quote, as in all officers' watches, one of the key assets of the reference 5153 is the case in 18K yellow gold with a hinged cover that protects the case back. It is one of the most elaborate horological constructions that are still being built. From the front, it reveals a classic sleekness of a few modest details suggest that it's an officer's case. The straight lugs with the screwed strap bars, the knurled turban-style crown, and the small case extension ridge on the crown side. This element hides the hinge for the cover that protects the screwed case back with the sapphire window. Such details clearly manifest the precision, the care, and the skill with which the manufacturer's cases are made, end quote. Only Patek Philippe can say such eloquent words. Here, another modern beauty, the reference 4962 line 200 Rose, full set. This is not a watch that you might know of unless you've seen one with your local Patek AD. Here we have a mint and complete example of the current production Gondolo Serrata. It's a modern ladies' watch that is the largest offering of the Gondolo Serrata collection that originally debuted now almost 20 years ago. As the bold reinterpretation of a modern classic, the reference 4962 makes a massive statement with its 94 spessartites totaling just over 2 carats, A careful observer will note how the spessartites are arranged in a double color gradient ranging pattern from a darker cognac tone at 12 and 6, graduating to a lighter mandarin tone at 9 and 3. This is something that once you see it, you're just mesmerized. It's a masterpiece that isn't really appreciated for what it is just yet. Further adding to its sophistication is that brown lacquered dial with a floral motif that highlights a high polished finish over a matte finish. It's a very interesting effect, and it adds an extra dimension to this dial, and it just plays beautifully in the light. The current retail for this watch is $40,420 US, and no doubt that you can have a chance to buy this modern work of art at a tempting price via this Loupe This collectability auction. Next, the reference 5038G with box and papers. This is a perpetual calendar that you must consider. The 5038G was made as a limited series from 1996 to 97 and was a sportier offering of the perpetual calendar series, which was dominated by the reference 3940. With a decorated bezel and black dial with an easily readable white Roman numerals, the reference 5038 was an instant success and was soon sold out. Interestingly, only 500 examples of this important reference was ever made. This example has its original certificate of origin that reveals that it was first sold at the Patek Philippe salon in Geneva in February of 1997. It even comes with a card from Patek Philippe saying that it's a limited edition of only 500 pieces. Next is a star of the show of this Loupe This collectability auction. This is a reference 3700 with original box and archive. It's fresh to market. It is the best unrestored condition 3700 that I've ever seen. Looking closely at this example, you see everything that you want to see with a barn find. I was struck by the beauty and crispness of the case and bracelet when I first saw this watch, and it hasn't seen the light of day in decades, and it has not seen any polishing since it left the factory. Furthermore, the dial retains the lume that it was born with on both the hands and the batons. The aging of this dial is classic, beautiful. It's as honest as can be. And it's fun that it also has its original hang tag that confirms the retail price back in 1978 of $3,750. Considering we're nearing the 50th anniversary of the Nautilus in 2026, it's my opinion that these early and completely honest, non-detailed 3700s are about to be in the spotlight of the collecting community. And here you have a chance to get a great example. So get your bidding ready. It's going to be fun. Next, a 3604J full set. I was thrilled when I recently acquired this piece. This reference 3604 is a beloved favorite for both the Lips and Golden Circle collectors. It's classic, it's very 1970s, and highlights the quintessential Patek Philippe autumn gold dial. Made during the 1970s before being discontinued in 1980, the reference was offered with a number of different dial and bracelet options. This example features its original certificate of origin, confirming its dial color, which was called Brun Soleil, and shows it was originally sold by Watches of Switzerland on September 6, 1978. Furthermore, it has its original Patek Philippe Golden Circle box, one of the most beautiful and elegant of all Patek Philippe boxes. This is the complete package and not to be missed. Also, from the collection, we have a reference 5028G. The 5028 is just one of those modern ellipses that stands out as a bit of an enigma for collectors, and it's a true wrist pleaser of the highest order. The reference 5028 was produced only from 97 to 2003 and was made in less than 500 examples and only made in white gold. Like its Calatrava cousin, the reference 5000G, this 5028 features an automatic caliber 240 and eccentric subseconds at 4 o'clock. Alongside the reference 5738 and 3605, this reference 5028 is one of the largest ellipse references ever to be made. So get your bidding ready. Sure to be a good fight for this one. Next, I'm so happy to present a Le Grec, the reference 3975 line 1J. The Le Grec family of watches was launched in 1982 and remained in the line until 87. Let's just say there's no Patek Philippe that's more 1980s than the Le Grec. Love it or hate it, it is 1980s. The watches were designed with classical Greek motifs, including the bezels with Corinthian columns, Greek key patterns on the dial, and bracelets designed with Greek-inspired proportions of balance and symmetry. In a 1987 marketing brochure, Patek Philippe wrote, "The Greek civilization, mother of all arts, has endowed us with a highly developed sense of proportion. This sense is illustrated clearly in the Le Grec collection," end quote. This example on offer in this auction of a 3975 line 1J is preserved in near mint condition with a 7.5-inch diameter bracelet. Interestingly, back in 1984, it had the original retail price of 14,900 CHF. So I think it might bring a little more today, but we'll see. Anything's possible at auction. Next, we have a 3733 line 1J with an onyx dial. This is the kind of watch that you just can't take off your wrist once you put it on. Made in 1979, this 3733 with onyx dial is a specimen of the signature reference from the 1970s. On a men's or ladies' wrist, this bracelet watch is a statement of beauty, of bracelet architecture, and today this watch can be yours. You will not want to wear any other watch once you have this piece on your wrist. So what would be a Loupe This collectability auction without a pocket watch? So this went up on day one. This is a Patek Philippe pulsation chronograph pocket watch with its extract. This watch can literally make your heart stop. Its sheer beauty and rarity cannot be overstated. First, take a look at this dial. It's one of the rarest configurations of a pulsation dial we've ever seen. It's a 3-part dial graduated for pulsations on the outer chapter, hand-painted in both black and red on white enamel, and the massive case is nicely preserved, and the recently overhauled movement is ready for you to count the beats per second of a loved one. For the collector of important Patek Philippe chronographs, new and old, this timepiece is not to be overlooked. It's accompanied by its extract from the archives confirming the original date of sale on May 25th, 1920, and the enamel dial is described in the archive as pulsometer scale. The second pocket watch we have in the sale is a Patek Philippe Hunter case repeating pocket watch with extract. This massive 50 millimeter beautifully preserved hunting case repeater is the kind of watch you can keep in your family for generations. Many older collectors might recall the days of their youth listening to their grandfathers or great-grandfathers' repeaters. It's an audible experience that you'll just never forget, and you could continue that tradition by owning this repeater. A few Hunter case Patek Philippe repeaters were made in the early 20th century due to their high cost and the fashion at the times that lended towards open-face watches, but a Hunter case is something quite unusual. This watch is the perfect presentation of the art of case making, dial making, and of course, the repeating movement. For the collector looking to add a repeater to your collection, this watch is for you. It has its extract from the archives confirming the engraved monogram was done by Patek Philippe, and says on the extract, enameled in blue and red. And the name is lost to history of the original owner, but it does, you could see, say R del G or G del R, and whoever that gentleman was had exquisite and refined taste in watches, just like the new owner will too. The next pocket watch on offer in the Loupe This collectability auction is the Patek Philippe Deco pocket watch with extract from 1925. Want to own the most interesting watch at your next dinner party? This elegant Art Deco style platinum Patek Philippe watch from 1924 was first sold in 1925 and features a silver dial with Greek style Arabic numerals. It's truly rarity, beauty, and absolute value combined. You could own this for less than a price of a modern Patek Philippe Platinum folding clasp. And last, I had to put in one clock in the first Loupe This collectability auction. And here we have a Patek Philippe Ellipse solar clock with extract. The Ellipse clock is a photoelectric clock of choice for the Patek Philippe Ellipse lover, made with the same attention to details as the Ellipse watches. These clocks from the 70s and 80s are the ultimate retro accessory for your desk. In conclusion, 20 pieces are showing up this week. Once a watch is launched, it will be up for 7 days on Loupe This. So the bidding will be very active this weekend. So please register and bid while there is still time to get the opportunity to own one of these amazing pieces. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Collectability on YouTube, Instagram, and also TikTok so that you don't miss any future posts. Thank you again, and enjoy the hunt.